Just over my shoulder here is a reconstruction of the type of cabin that an enslaved family would have lived in. In one of these cabins, there could have been 10 to 12 people working, living, eating, cleaning, all of those types of things together as a family. This cabin specifically has been decorated to look like the one that John and Priscilla Hemmings would have shared. Priscilla Hemmings worked as a caretaker, caring for Jefferson's grandchildren, mostly. Now, John and Priscilla Hemmings spend a long life together in terms of their marriage, but physically they spend most of it not near each other. For 19 years of their marriage, Priscilla Hemmings, along with Jefferson's grandchildren, are living at Edge Hill, the plantation that belonged to Jefferson's daughter and her husband, Martha Jefferson Randolph and Thomas Mann Randolph. So for 19 years, they are separated from each other physically. Now, they're only 3 miles away. It might as well have been 300. Eventually, they move back here to Monticello, and John and Priscilla Hemmings are reunited. And then only a couple of years later, John Hemmings is sent to go oversee that construction at Poplar Forest, and so they're separated for another 6 years. How do you maintain a union, a bond such as theirs, in the face of so much separation from each other? And we see that John Hemmings, while he's at Poplar Forest, was actually writing letters to Jefferson's youngest granddaughter, whose name was Septimia. And so we see that he's writing letters to this 11-year-old child, talking about updates on the work that he's doing, some speculation as to when he might be able to come back to Monticello. Is he writing those letters to Septimia because he wants her to be aware of what's going on in his life and he wants to update her? Maybe. Is he writing those letters to her because he's trying to talk to the person who's most likely to be in the room, the person who's most likely to be helping Septimia read those letters, and that's Priscilla? Also maybe. Now, separation was a constant fear and reality for enslaved laborers here at Monticello. It was a tool used to coerce them into doing the things that their owners wanted them to do. It was used as a consequence for some whenever they did actions that their owners perceived to be wrong. And it was also sometimes just used on the whims of the people that owned them. Another example of that we see is in the life of Nancy Hemmings, who is another sibling of John and Sally Hemmings. Now, she grows up being trained as a weaver, starting at the age of 13. And she becomes a very skilled weaver until in 1785, Jefferson gives her and her youngest 2 children, gives them away as a wedding gift to Jefferson's younger sister, Anna Scott Marks. Now, they go to live in Richmond on that plantation, and they're there for 10 years. They're separated from the rest of the Hemmings family. And in that 10 years, they start to live their lives there, start to create what their new life is going to look like. And then 10 years pass, and Jefferson now wants another weaver, another skilled weaver, to come back to Monticello. So he asks his sister if he can buy Nancy Hemmings back. And he does, but he doesn't buy the 2 children. So Nancy Hemmings is separated from her children. She's separated from her family members again and brought back here to Monticello. The 2 children would later be separated from each other as well.